Brought to you direct from Studio 3B at Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, the American Hardwood Advisor is your source for trends, tips, and insights into how the building industry has evolved. Join me, Steve Stack, along with guest builders and industry leaders as we talk shop and go in depth on what it takes to be the best of the best. Dive into topics like architecture, industry trends, project plans, historical tools, tricks of the trade, and life's lessons from more than 6 decades of experience in the hardwood lumber business. Hey folks, Steve Stack, Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, Studio 3B, Canfield, Ohio. And we've been working with this next guest for, 8 months, a year almost.
Seems a lot longer to them.
Now watch who you're talking to. Ladies and gentlemen, Hal Shaffer. Hal, welcome to Studio 3B.
Man, thank you for having us here. Boy, I'm telling you, this is like, it's almost like coming to a family reunion. We missed you guys. We've been away for a few months now, and
right?
It's like we haven't got our dose of Steve and Baird and all this. It was kind of nice to come get an IV plugged in and get back to where we were.
So we are in the midst of a partnership, Baird Brothers Fine Hardwood, Renovation Hunters, Outdoor Channel, and we're excited.
Oh, I don't think you can meet our excitement. I'm telling you, this is was quite an adventure. So different than anything that I've ever done, but this has definitely been fun, and that's the great thing about it. This part of it, the relationship with you guys, making this just feel like we just joined a big family, it just doesn't seem a lot like work. We're busy. We may even be sweating. We may be tired, but it just don't seem a lot like work.
And we've done all the above, the sweating, hustling,
oh, you got
getting stuff done. And before we go down that path, but it's important for folks to know that they're seeing Renovation Hunters clips on Instagram and Facebook. They're seeing Baird Brothers clips on Instagram and Facebook. So that's where you recognize this face from. Yeah,
that and a couple milk cartons.
Right. We promise not to bring that up.
But it's okay.
So we've got all that going for us, and before we go there and recap some of the stuff we've been up to over the last 6-8 months, the folks want to get to know you a little deeper. You have been.
Oh, now I'm scared.
Yeah, well, it's a storied past.
I wasn't nervous till now.
So you've dabbled in a little bit of everything. I mean, you're from NASCAR, you're talk radio. You've got your own TV show now. Drop Zone on the Outdoor Channel, and that and our conversations over the past few months, you love the outdoors. And I don't mean you love being out in the outdoors. You love and appreciate the outdoors.
No doubt, and that's the truest sense of the way to put it, because it's certainly a big affection that I have. Only third to my wife and the good Lord above is my passion to the outdoors, and that's it always feels like everything we do, right? Everything you're out there doing when you're doing positive stuff in the environment and for the outdoors, it feels like you're doing good, right? It's not a reward just for you. It's a reward for nature. It's a reward for the general public. Yes. It's a reward for the landowner. It doesn't matter. There's lots of rewards to be reaped from it, and they're not just selfish rewards.
No, and for anyone that hasn't, your audience will completely appreciate this. The Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods audience, some will, some may not, but they should. Take 3 hours out of a morning, hunting, not hunting.
Whatever it is.
Walk 30, 40, 50, 100 yards into a wood line and sit your back down against a tree, close your eyes, listen and smell, and there's so much life and vibrance out there.
It is. I tell everybody that, they say, well, when do you have time for church? When do you have time for this? When do you have time for that? I'm like, let me tell you something. I go to church every day. I get in a tree stand in the morning at dark, and I watch the world wake up. You can think about how the good Lord made all this, right?
Right.
And you feel closer to nature. You feel closer to Him. It makes you, when you're in that passionate moment that it's just electrifying what it does to you. That's what you not only think about nature, you think about all the people you love in your life. You think about it's just so much positivity that just flows through you when you sit there and you watch the world wake up. It is amazing. And if you've never done it, if you'll go do it once, just go do it once.
Yeah, right?
It will not be the last time you do it.
You don't have
to be a hunter.
No, you don't have to be a hunter. And
Nope.
and it will flip that switch for some of our finest natural resources.
Oh.
And you will develop an appreciation and a respect for what He's created.
Yeah, my whole life, I at times I made a living indoors, right? Mm-hmm. Right, because it was necessity. Had a growing family, 3 daughters. There was things you had to do, right? That's how I was raised. I was raised in a fairly big family. I was raised in a very strict family, right? That we all had to be responsible for certain things in our life. Young people hear this. And there were consequences if we didn't. But you think, oh, he had a hard life. No, I had an amazing childhood growing up, because what I got to do is every night I sat at a dining room table with everybody in my family and sometimes friends, and we all ate together, we talked together, we communicated together. The bond of closeness continued to grow every time you do that, right? This day and time, we have kids eating up in their rooms while they're playing a game, mom and dad maybe at a bar top, or an island. There's not a lot of gathering around the table. And that whole family aspect. My family, when we went on vacation, we all went camping together. Right. We were in the outdoors, right? Some of my best memories, very best memories, are where our cousins come together, all of our families, the families joined, right? Made it a huge connectivity and a strong bond between us all. And that's what we're losing in this country today. And it starts right there. The things that are wrong in our country right now all starts right there at that dining room table, or the lack of not being there.
The lack of not being there. And,
yes.
And we're all busy.
Oh, no doubt.
We're all busy. You know what? And if it's not every night, that's okay. But you need to make it a point to sit down. I've threatened the kids at home when we get together, and they're grown adult kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I threaten them. I see the first cell phone come up on the dining room table. I say, I'll get a basket and everybody will put their cell phones in it, because we're going to talk to each other. We're going to find out what you've been doing for the last week, or this, that, and the other thing. And
that's the thing. This day and time, people know more about what's going on in the world, and they know nothing about that's going on with their loved ones. They know everything that's going on in the world. They keep up with it every day, right? But they don't know the real importance of what's going on with their loved ones. Is there a way to help them? Is there something bothering them? Is there something they're excited about? These are the things that we're missing. And with all this said, what we just talked about, this was the dream of where we went to the current show. This was the passion to that show.
You made the tie-in there, and that, as folks will see,
right,
that is a very important element to the premise of the entire premise of the show. That's to the core.
Right, and I think I had, growing up, you want to know about me? I was the baby of the family, right? So I ultimately got to sit back, and I got to learn from watching my older brothers get whoopings. So I didn't get as many. I was pretty smart. My dad lay one to you. I got one. I got one. That's all I needed. But even at that, kids, even me, everybody, we all are going to make mistakes and have errors in our life. But it's kind of like the old saying, you keep them between the ditches, right? They're going to do this, but you keep them between the ditches and out of the woods and off the cliffs. Kel Yarborough used to come on when I did talk radio, Carolina Outdoors Radio Network. Kel Yarborough would come on with us, and one thing he said stuck in my mind. He said, I never saw a kid go wrong that was raised by a bird dog, right? Boredom is the root of evil in our children. It truly is. I do not think any kid is ever born bad.
No.
I don't think they're born a bad person. But when boredom strikes a child, they're at a part where their brain capacity is growing. The curiosity is at a peak. Everything to teach them, inform them, when they're bored, is left wide open. And when we don't have the family connectivity that we used to, then those kids are led astray, right? And end up in places where it's hard to get them back from. So that's what the outdoors has always done. And it's not just hunting. I mean, I'm a big hunter. I love the hunting aspect of it. You know, I love, you want to be an organic person, and that's a big move. There's nothing more organic than going out and, you know, getting your own meat, super low in cholesterol, super healthy for you, doing all the things to help, right? Doing all the things to help the environment, to make the deer herd healthier, to make all the other animals healthier by putting in food plots and all that stuff. All this stuff comes back to being the best, most organic eating food that you can eat.
Right.
Right?
Very much so.
So as a kid, growing up watching that, the one thing that I really loved doing, I always found myself drawn to the outdoors, right? I played a lot of sports, basketball, football, track. That was my three major sports growing up. And, you know, did my college stint, but my college stint didn't take me in life where I am now. Grew up doing lots of things. I worked on power lines. I was a lineman for a while for Duke Power and Pike. Then got a job working with Mark Stahl, who was a Winston Cup driver in NASCAR. Was working in the shop all during the week, working on cars, race cars, doing everything from welding to body fitting to motor work to, you know, you name it. And then to actually doing pit crew. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. Pit crew guys this day and time, they're really good. They're really fast. When I did it, in the times that I did it, which was from 83 to 86, during that stint, there were no speed limits on pit road. Those cars come in there, and I do mean they were hauling ass.
You were a target.
Oh, yeah, moving target. And it was way different pitting cars back then. It was totally different. But that was a great learning experience for me, but there wasn't a lot of money in it for pit crews back then. And I had just had Lauren, my first daughter, and quickly found out after I had that, being gone all week long and only home very short amounts of time, was not going to be good for the marriage, nor was it going to be good for my daughter. And my daughter was a big-time daddy's girl. I mean, I couldn't push mow a yard without having to carry her with me. I mean, if I went to the store for 5 minutes, she went with me. That's just how it was. And pretty much all three of my daughters ended up being that way. They were all daddy's girls. So going through the family thing, I didn't always get to follow my passions. I got out of NASCAR. Racing was fun. Ended up in the car business. Stayed in the car business for a long time. Ran some stores. Then did a lot of work for motivational sales training, and then ended up starting my own fleet sale company. So it was quite the niche. It was funny because I would go buy cars from Enterprise and turn around and sell them to Budget. It was a great business. It was a great business. Then, you know, like so often we do, you know, my marriage took a fall and had to go through a divorce, and it kind of changed my path and my direction, but it also changed my mentality because I was working so much, sometimes working 100 hours a week, right? Trying to keep up. I was telling you, I used to rebuild motors for people in my driveway, right? I'd rebuild them over a weekend, in and out, and get them back to them inside of a week to make extra money. But what I found out is I listened to, and I can't tell you, I almost think it was Anthony Robbins that always said that no matter what your education was, no matter what your skill set was, if you found a way to make a living in something you had a passion for, you ultimately was going to find the most success for the least amount of labor because you had a passion for it. And labor's not as measured when you're passionate about what you're doing as Correct. It is when you're out doing, a job, right? So I was doing all my own radio ads for the car business. And I was doing the TV ads, the commercials. So they were having me, so the radio guy come to me and said, hey, look, we got some people that, some of our people want to know if you would do voiceovers for, their thing. I'm thinking, wow, I'm a redneck boy from Alabama, and somebody's asking me to voice over their ads. Wow, So I started doing it. And, 6 months later, the radio guy goes, look, guy, we're getting great response. What would you think of doing a talk radio show? And I'm like, well, how often would I have to do it? He said, once a week for 2 hours a night on a Wednesday night. I'm like, I can do that. And he goes, well, what would your subject matter be? I said, it's going to be the outdoors. That's my passion. That's what I love. And he goes, well, I'll tell you what you do. If you can go out and get me $15,000 worth of sponsorship in the next few months, then we'll kick the radio show off. And I called him 4 days later because I had a passion.
Yeah.
I had $21,000 in sponsorship 4 days later, and he shook his head and said, well, when are we starting? I said, you said Wednesday. This was Monday. So he got me a producer, and the funniest thing ever is WRHI in Rock Hill and Interstate 107 was the first two stations, FM station, country music stations, and so the producer comes in there, and he hands me this script, and I'm reading this script. And I'm like, I can't spell script, right? I've never used a script. And I just kind of laid it to the side, and we kicked it off. And after the first break, the producer goes in there, he goes, do you realize that was a script? I said, do you realize I'm not going to use it? I said, if I can't do this and follow the emotion part of me and just shoot from the hip, I said, that's what people want. People don't want me reading off of a script. And to this day, even in Drop Zone and everything else I'm doing, there's no scripts for me. I just don't do them. Like when we're doing our studios, they'll give us copy points and subject matter. But I don't think people want to hear you scripted. I think people want to hear what comes from you, what your thoughts are, not what a producer thought you should say, what you feel and you should say. And so basically, that's what I've done my whole life, and it's worked to this point.
And that's so true. I mean, we here at Studio 3B, we try to approach our American Hardwood Advisor, or Build It with Baird series, our Shop Talk.
Y'all do a great job with these things too, though.
We have bullet points that we want to make sure we cover, but we want to cover them and convey them to our audience in our own words. In our, a prime example, we have some of these old antique woodworking tools.
Right.
I had a gentleman in, 50-year plus antique woodworking tool historian. Right?
Yeah.
This is like having Encyclopedia Britannica in front of you on woodworking tools. I'd throw a question out and I'd shut up because people wanted to hear him talking about it, and he talks with passion.
Yeah. That's
right?
what it's all about.
And okay, check that one off. Okay, let's go on to the next tool. Let's go on to the next subject matter. Yeah, it's a great approach.
Here's the thing. Here's another thing I'll tell you about passionate people. Passionate people generally are the most trustworthy people you'll find. Their passion is so great about what they do, they don't have to invent things to be creative and interesting.
Okay, so Hal, we've talked this and that. I wanted to ask you some of your first hunting experiences. What were, I know what mine were. What was yours like?
It was funny. My dad had guns, but my dad was probably the hardest working person I've ever met in my life. Multiple jobs, worked for the phone company, but he just did not have that time, right, to spend. So actually, my girlfriend's father, Tom Hicks, was a gentleman that got me started hunting, and he used to take me deer hunting. And so he lived about 7 miles from me, right? And it was straight through the timber. So my dad had this 1960 model J.C. Higgins semi-automatic shotgun. I'd go grab a pile of shells, stick them in my pocket, and I would try to walk up quail and rabbits the whole way to Tom's house and to his daughter, Michelle. And I would always come over there and I'd have rabbits or some quail or something like that. And if I brought them back to the house, Mom wouldn't cook them, right? I had to cook them, and I messed them up. And then I finally realized if you wrap everything in bacon, it tastes pretty good. So I figured out how to cook them. But truly, Tom Hicks is the one that got me started. And I'll never forget the first time we went on a hunt in Low Country, South Carolina. It's August 15th. It's 95 degrees, and it's 90% humidity, and there's a thunderstorm every day. And so we're down there in this big dog country, and there is a lot of what they call Geechee, and that is how people talk, right? So Geechee was a native tongue to that area. And so there was a lot of that in there. And so I'm riding with Tom in this old Toyota pickup truck. And I get in there and everybody's on CB radios. And this guy comes across the radio, "Oh, you better get him cut the roll, whatever now, they're coming out of barn." And I'm like, what in the hell did they just say? He said, "We better hurry up and get down by the barn. There's a deer coming across the road over there." And it was the funniest thing, and it was wide open action. And to be honest with you, the way I started hunting was not boring. I didn't sit in a tree stand to start. I walked somewhere trying to jump up quail and rabbits, so I was always busy, so it was never boring. And then I started dog hunting with Tom, and we were always running to get to here or running to get there or setting up there. And I got to listen to more deer hunting stories from old guys and deer hunting recipes. The first recipe I ever learned was to take a deer neck, and you cut the meat off the neck of a deer, you put it in a crock pot, you put it 3/4 Coke and 1/4 ketchup, and let it cook all day, and it was some of the best barbecue you ever ate.
Right.
Amazing. Right. So, it was the memories like that fueled the passion to what I do today.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
In our experiences over the last 8 months as partners for the Renovation Hunters Outdoor Channel and Baird Brothers and Crescent Tool, and Metabo, and wall panel.
True Work boys.
True Work, right?
Oh my gosh, best clothes in the world.
Every person I have met on set, they brought a certain passion with them.
No doubt.
Right?
No doubt.
Whether it was sponsor, maker, influencer, camera people.
Oh no, I could not be prouder of my partner Chris Velarde and Kevin Tarkovich. We all put our heads together and really tried to find a group of people that we thought was super relatable, but truly had a passion. Because let me tell you something, when you're trying to renovate a house in 8 days, they better be passionate, because they can't be clock watchers, right? Clock watchers will never make it in what we do, because we do something that nobody else does. And I'm very proud of our group. I'm proud of the partnerships that we have with guys like you, and this company literally you could not have drawn it up, done a computer analysis and everything else and find a better partner than Baird Brothers. It's impossible. And I'm not saying because I'm sitting here, I've told everybody that down the road. I've never had partners, and we have some good ones, but you guys are there from day one to end day. We didn't expect that. We expected to get the greatest materials in the world from you guys. We didn't expect to get the labor from you guys, and truly saved our butts I mean, so many times because all of our partners came in and worked. Our
That's-
wall control people, the Moss
Exactly.
epoxy. I mean, you think about it, Matabo's been there, our Crescent Tool people. I mean, you think about it, all these people have showed up and went to work and for a common goal and a common passion, and we have truly changed some people's lives.
Yeah, and you just said it. Everybody brought their passion,
No doubt.
right? We here are passionate about the product that we manufacture, and because we're passionate and we produce a quality product, we're proud of it. And just like some of the other folks on set, they brought their own slice of passion.
You're kidding.
You know, I'm thinking on one of the sets, gentleman from Toledo, sign maker, iron worker,
Oh yeah.
and he
Dane
right,
from Twisted Toledo
yeah,
Ironworks. Dane is that guy's amazing. What a talent.
you know. But then we saw Steph jump in
Oh no.
and do some artwork,
Right.
some layout work.
So
for him.
everybody was working with each other, right?
Right.
To make it happen. It was.
But the passions came together.
But and the thing is you sit there and look at this. We couldn't have sat there and say, okay, Steph, you go help him draw this out. It all just maturates and happens. It just naturally comes together. It flows together, and wow. I mean, it's a tremendous team, and I'd put this team we got with Kevin up top being our GC. I don't think that I would seriously tell you that there ain't a renovation show group anywhere that can overcome the stuff that we've overcome in the amount of time we overcame it and end up with a quality product that we produced. Can't happen.
Kevin, you called him a GC. If this thing ever goes south and he's looking for work, he can go to the circus because he's a hell of a juggler.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, boy. Yep, right? There ain't no doubt about that. And the problem is old Hal Shaffer keeps throwing balls in there for him. Man, it'd be really cool if we could do this. Whoa, here you go, buddy.
So this isn't your first go round in front of the television cameras. You got that little show Drop Zone going on.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you now that I started out in 2003 with a show called Carolina Outdoors. I'd done talk radio. We had multiple radio stations on there. It was Carolina Outdoors Radio Network, and all the outdoor TV networks were advertising with us, right? Because we were spreading word. We weren't preaching to the choir.
Right.
So it was a way for them to spread the word about their network outside of their own broadcast. So one day, Michael Cooley, that owned the Sportsman's Channel at that time, come to me and say, Hal, man, he says, we have a lot of fun on the radio with you. I'd really like for you we'd like to get you on TV. And I'm like, well, my mama told me I had a face for radio. Maybe I ought to listen to her, you know? But so we did. And it was the coolest thing in the world. We had, for the radio show, we always had the fishing report, the inland fishing report, the coastal report, and the Salty Dog, my old buddy down there in Charleston, always did my offshore report so we could tell people what fish were running, what baits were working, what depths, everything. I mean, it was really a great show. People really appreciated that show. And so he called me up one day, he says, so are you going to do the TV thing? And I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. He goes, what are you going to do your first show? And I said, well, I probably do some offshore fishing this time of year because it really wasn't hunting season. He goes, I got a first guest for you. And I go, a first guest? He goes, yeah. He goes, this guy, when he's in town, he listens to your show, your radio show all the time when he comes fishing with me. And I told him you were going to do TV. And he said, yeah, let's do a show. We'll do a shark fishing show. And he goes, but I don't want to tell you who it is. I said, you can't do that to me. You got to tell me who this is. And he goes, well, it's Dan Marino. And I'm like, what? What? I don't have a camera crew. I don't know. We went, my buddy Kenny Cobb come aboard with me with Hunting the World and Carolina Outdoors is what it started, and we ended up being Hunting the World Southern Style. We rented a camera, and we stayed up in a hotel room all night long before we left at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to go fishing with Dan Marino to learn how to use the camera.
Figure it out.
But by gosh, we figured it out, and we produced a pretty darn good TV show. It was a lot of fun. Dan Marino was a hoot. That was a lot of fun. And we caught a bunch of sharks and fish. I'm going to tell you, when he goes to set a hook, he broke 2 rods that day.
Snap them.
Oh, I'm telling you, okay? We want to leave their teeth in their mouth, buddy, but what a cool first guest to have on your TV show to start the career off. But yeah, in 2009, Zip had been, Greg Zipadelli had been, on our other show a lot, and me and Zippy had a similar direction that we wanted to go, right? So sold the other show, and Zip and I started Drop Zone, and I'm going to tell you, Zip has been huge in my life, not only with Drop Zone, but a guy that's super successful, knows how to team build, knows how to handle adverse situations, because you got to realize he was a crew chief for Tony Stewart, one of the winningest crew chiefs in NASCAR still to this day, right? And multiple championships, cup championships. This guy knows how to overcome adversity. And it's something that when I got into this end of the world, I struggled with. I'd been a single man for a long time. Well, the advice I got from him through just life advice was second to none. I mean, you couldn't have paid for it, got any better, and we've become brothers. And, we just have such a good time with Drop Zone. And Drop Zone has always been about, it's kind of like a good old boy show, right? We try to teach, as much as we can to people about quality deer management and helpful and all this. But, when it comes down to it, it's relatable. And our success has been, we are relatable, right? And that's the thing. Like, if we miss, which we do, we show it.
Right.
We don't hide it. We don't need to be perfect. And ultimately, what I call the Bubba hunters, the 85% of all the hunters in the country, they don't get to go on high-end hunts. They don't have precision everything that they get to use. So missing is part of it. And when they see that, you know what, it happens to him, I don't feel so bad about myself anymore. You become extremely relatable to those people. And if you ever forget that, if you ever go into this thing, and we've seen it happen in our industry, people think that they're movie stars. We're not movie stars. We make our living in the outdoors with a cameraman behind you. And that's the extent of it. Yeah. That is the extent of it. And we all need to sometimes think about that and check our ego at the door, right? Because that's the people, we wouldn't be doing any of this if it wasn't for all y'all out there.
That's why they call it hunting.
By gosh.
Right?
Well, we don't have near enough time to go into hunting stories. But so Renovation Hunters, it happened because we started a relationship with Crescent Tools, and it has been the most amazing relationship. Those people who have been incredible. It's tools that I had used, my dad had used growing up. I was a mechanic, but I built the deck on the back of 2 different of my houses, so when I grew up, especially in the South, you learned to do a lot of things when you didn't have money to pay for it, right? It was trial by error, trial by fire. And so you have to be a jack of all trades and a master of none,
correct,
right? Just enough to get it done. And so that's kind of what we did. Well, Crescent understood that the outdoor people, the people who love outdoors, are the people that use their hands. They are the people that work on their own stuff, that put up cabinets in their house, or put a deck on their house, or put shelving in their shed, or work on fences and work on their own cars, which I do.
Yeah, right.
So they understood that, and we were struggling with how do we give them good content. And we were at the house in Missouri. So I was sitting there talking with Chris, and man, wouldn't it be really cool if we remodeled this house using Crescent tools? And then, because I'm not an infomercial guy, I don't want to sit there and sell stuff to people, right? I truly want them to see us use the stuff that we would go buy off the shelf ourselves. And that is one thing that Greg Zipadelli said, I never want to use something on the show that I would not buy off the shelf myself. And honestly, we have done it, and we have turned down partnerships because of it. And he has stuck to that, and that's one thing about him I will say. He is loyal to a brand just like I am. But anyway, so we wanted to, like, how are we gonna really show the vast versatility of their tools and the amount of different tools they have. It's unbelievable what Crescent has. I mean, it's giant.
I was taken by, like yourself, like my father. Everybody knew the Crescent Wrench, right?
Yep.
Right? Until becoming involved with Renovation Hunters, I had no idea of their product offering.
It's unbelievable. And so with that, with such a vast product offering, we had to figure out how we do this. And then we're sitting in an old farmhouse in Missouri on our property, and I'm like, wow, we should remodel this kitchen. And we started like, let's knock this wall out and all this. So I suckered Kevin in. I said, Kevin, you want to go help work on it? We're just going to demo this kitchen and get it ready to do some work on it. And he didn't know he was going to have to come back and finish it. But so we invited him out.
And in front of cameras.
Me, him, Chris, and a friend of mine, Matt, who's a builder, Matt Varney in North Carolina. We went over and we knocked it out. I mean, we tore down walls and put up some sheetrock. We got it all prepped. And then so we come up with the original name we were going to do was Pimp My Deer Camp. Well, seems pimp's not the best word for family-friendly shows. I thought it was really cool. It had a nice sling to it. So we were challenged. After we did that, we said, man, we want to keep doing this. Because I knew what it meant to us to have that done. What if we did this for families who had passed down fishing cabins or hunting camps, and in the transition, the place got dilapidated, or the people didn't have the knowledge, it wasn't passed on to them, how to keep it up. What if we did this and enabled families to have that connectivity, to have a place for everybody to go to, and to build a custom dining room table where everybody could sit down and eat? That was the two things.
Yep.
That was the two accomplishments we wanted to have. And you know what? That idea has grown to Renovation Hunters. It's grown to Baird Brothers. It's grown to all of our partners. And you want to talk about something that's just so exciting. And the biggest reward is not looking at how cool the thing was we built. It is watching those tears roll down people's faces. It's hard for me to even say.
Yep.
You think about it. I mean, we were able to do something and truly change people's lives.
Yep.
In a way that most people can't. And in this day and time, in the world we live in, everybody needs to figure out a way how to give back, figure out how to way to improve family, and figure out how to way to bring this country back to where it once was in the morals and foundations in which it was founded. This is a little thing, but it's big to us, right?
And it all comes back around. And thank you and Kevin and Chris for allowing Baird Brothers and our partners Ice Energy for being on set and experiencing it. Bottom line, what you did, the end outcome was allowing those families to reestablish and continue traditions.
When you guys see the reactions and the words that come out of these people's mouth and from their heart, the first time we did it in Kreitz, Virginia, the Joyce family, I turned at Kevin when Chad got through talking and in tears. And what he said, because I'm not going to tell you what he said.
No.
I'm not going to tell you what he said. I was like, mission complete. This is 1,000% a success. And you know, you always have things like your questions. This is so hard on everybody. This is good. Is this truly what we need to be doing? When that came across, and then we did the exact same thing. We followed up, in Tionesta, PA, and what happened with them. Man, it's just like, okay, we can't quit, right? We This isn't no longer a question of whether we're going to do it. It's just how we're going to do it. It has to happen.
The Pennsylvania project, one of your other partners, Sweet Dreams, right?
Oh yeah, them guys are
Right?
awesome.
That little box truck sitting out in front of the place with the family tucked away behind it, and 20 plus cast and crew lined up, right, for
Right.
the truck to pull away, sunglasses down. You knew it was coming.
Oh yeah, you knew it was coming. Yeah, it was like somebody turned on the irrigation system.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, it was. And you would talk about the Sweet Dreams people. How about the effort that Katie and Greg put in to interior decorating and put into these places? I mean, that is so far over and above what we even expected,
Oh, gosh,
right?
yes. Oh.
I mean, that finished product, it blew me away. I could not believe and everybody's, it's just so cool. We're all passionate about the same things. And I think that's what it is. The chemistry is so great that the product is always awesome.
I've made the comment before, friends, family. I said it to you guys.
Yeah.
I said, we can transform this place into a dollhouse.
Oh, yeah.
And Sweet Dreams put the icing on the cake, right?
My gosh. Now you know why it should be your dreams are going to be sweet dreams, because I could have never imagined
But
what that place
yeah.
turned out like. And you know, you look at it, and Chris supplies so much of the back structure, the stuff that Kevin and I don't have time to do. And then you look at, you've got that in place, and then you look at Kevin. Never in my life, ever in my life, I've known Kevin, and me and Kevin have been very close friends. We're like brothers. We've known each other for a long time. But I have not, until Renovation Hunters, did I ever know somebody who was a problem solver. I've never seen a problem solver like that guy, ever. Never in my life. It is unfathomable, how it happens.
He's that guy, and I have a complete appreciation of his efforts.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he gets on a job site, and he lights the candle at both ends.
Elbows are up, buddy. Right? And yours better be too.
Because we're going.
Yeah, it is. And
Well, that's the whole team. I tell you
it
what.
is. I mean, there is every person. I mean, from Rachel, Christy, Camper, Mike, JR, the Ginger Bros, Joni. I mean, you name it. Everybody brought something to the table that we couldn't have done without.
Okay, so you kind of sort of threw out a little teaser there. After the premiere year of to be introduced, to be exposed on the Outdoor Channel, but after the third project, you said, we can't stop here. What's down the road?
Wow. Boy, you ain't seen nothing yet. How about that? We got some really cool ideas. Of course, we are putting the page back open, the landing page. We are going to be asking everybody to send in. You have to send in a video. It has to be a video. Just get your phone out, do a video, give us a compelling story of why we should come renovate whatever it is about you. Now, we're not going to come renovate the house you live in. This has to be a gathering place.
Yep.
It has to be a vacation home. It has to be a hunting camp. It has to be a fishing camp, whatever the case may be, right? But it's got to be a place where a family gathers. And we just want to hear your compelling stories, because we know we haven't tipped, we haven't even come close to seeing what's out there and the people that truly deserve to have this done. And it's all going to be outdoorchannel.com/Renovation Hunters. It's that simple. You just put that in your computer. It takes you to a landing page, and it shows you where to upload your video. Send us a video. Don't send us a picture. Send us a video, and give us a compelling story of why we should come do it.
Little backstory.
Because we're going to look at every single one. There are no guarantees. We're going to look at every single one. And the one that moves that needle, The ones that move that needle,
Yep.
that's the ones we're going to.
No, and folks, these first couple, they're spot on, and looking for more. And I'm excited. I'm excited. Back in December, January, Chris approached us and laid out the approach.
Right.
And we thought, wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is cool. Doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, that's right. And so you guys know, though, on the very first build, we did not do that for a family because we had to have a proven ground. This was trial by fire. And I'm going to tell you, we threw everybody in a very deep pool without any life jackets on because
there was no lifeguard on duty.
No, there's no lifeguards. There's no nothing. But that taught us so much about our team, about what we could and could not accomplish, right? And we didn't have to do it worrying that we may come up short for a homeowner. Yeah. So this was our trial by fire. It was an expensive one, but it was our trial by fire. And the great thing about it is it did exactly what we wanted it to. We knew where our weaknesses were. We knew where our strengths were. So we were spot on. After that, and it's only going to get better from here. And as we add new partners, there's going to be new twists and folds coming. I can't tell you everything.
No.
But it is going to be a lot of fun. This coming year is going to be an exceptional year. I think we're probably going to do it in a little cooler temperatures. Woo! Because Kreitz was rough. That was a rough one. That was hot.
Tionesta wasn't a walk in the park.
No, but poor Kreitz, it was in a bowl.
There was no air up there.
There was no air. No air moving, but
well,
it was really cool, all worth it, and so I'm pretty excited. And just stay tuned to the social media page for Renovation Hunters.
My friend Hal Shaffer, it has been our pleasure. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, myself, our marketing partners, we have had a blast.
Oh, it has been so much fun.
You folks, you have to stay tuned. Follow along. Hal Shaffer, Renovation Hunters, Outdoor Channel. There is going to be some fun stuff coming at you. Baird Brothers, we're partners with these guys. You follow Baird Brothers, Instagram, Facebook, across the board. Here in a month or so, we're going to start teasing some stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's going to be fun.
And if you think we're excited, the Outdoor Channel, our network, is so pumped over this show. And I'm going to tell you this. I'll challenge anybody. The quality of production you're going to get from this show is going to be second to none in the renovation world. Second to none. And I do mean second to none.
You just heard it, American Hardwood Advisor, Hal Shaffer. Stay tuned. A lot of great stuff coming up.
For all you folks listening, thanks for talking shop with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. If you've enjoyed this episode and want to stay up to date with the American Hardwood Advisor series, give us a like and subscribe. For more tips, projects, and inspiration, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or at BairdBrothers.com. Until next time,